Getting into the ascendancies and abilities thing, so there are 3 archetypes being pushed in 3.8. There's the Assassin, there's the Necromancer, which you know that Raiz is excited about, and there's the Saboteur. So Raiz, would you like to talk about Necromancer for a little bit, you prick?
Can I talk about Necromancer?
Yeah, you can talk about
There's nothing to be excited about Necromancer. We don't really know anything. I mean, I'm excited about like all the new shit, but they haven't told us anything about actually Necromancer. The gems look crazy. If we're gonna talk about the gems, then they look crazy.
Yeah.
A link for the gems?
Totally overpowered.
I haven't seen them.
You can see in the video where it's like the guy was fighting Minotaur and he marks him with the I think it's a mark for death or something like. And he literally walks away like a screen and a half, and then the boss just dies with all the minions just standing on top of even though the guy's not even there, which is really weird because they like always nerfed summoners to prevent that, to not allow something like that, and now they're like, yeah, you can just click this one button and all your minions are gonna just sit on him and you can walk the fuck away, which is kind of crazy. But I mean, shit, I don't mind summoners being super strong. So yeah, all the things are looking great so far. Even something like the meat shield, which is like a defensive one, you're still gonna find a lot of use for something like that, which is very cool. And that's the cool thing about summoners in general, that you're kind of like, you always needed to like MacGyver your way through content. With everything else, it's like you either hit really hard or don't take a lot of damage. With minions, it's like you actually had to find this like elaborate ways of dealing with stuff, which now you won't. It's like you don't have to position yourself. You just click a button and now the mob that you pointed at dies instantly. And like, excited about Raider? Oh my god.
Hey, numerical changes.
Whoa. On a different note, confused by the necessity of changes to mines.
Super confused. Yeah.
I don't understand why we're doing, like, I'm not necessarily saying the mine changes are going to be bad. Maybe they're interesting, maybe they're really cool. I don't think we know enough about them yet to really make that judgment. But I am saying that I don't think they needed to change. Like mines, oftentimes the skills you used with mines were distinct from the skills you used with traps because of the placement behavior of mines.
Yeah.
Like with Glacial Cascade or Ball Lightning or Ice Spear, you wanted to be placing further away from the enemy because Ice Spear needed the time to arm, or Ball Lightning wanted to travel through the enemy and get as many procs, or Glacial Cascade wanted as many overlaps as possible. And if you're throwing the mine under the enemy, all of that's thrown out the window, and now mines have a different suite of skills that they work with, but those skills are all the ones that traps were really good with, because that's what you did with traps. You threw them into the enemies. I don't understand necessarily the reasoning behind the change, because I also wasn't hearing a ton of complaints that miners are clunky.
Well, also the complaints people had about mines being clunky aren't solved by throwing them, because most of the complaints are to do with like arming speed and like laying speed, and if that's still the same, the fact you throw it doesn't change that.
I mean, it makes it's
way
worse
faster.
Potentially, because there's like there's air time now on the mine before it lands, and then arms, and then you can detonate it.
Yeah, but it like it fucking flies. Like if you watch the thing, the guy's just like.
He is only throwing one at a time though, so it may be a similar amount of mine output, because instead of laying like 3, you lay 1 at a time, but you throw them way faster.
The thing that I don't get is why didn't they just like call it grenades and just not
make a new skill?
Mines? Yeah, kept mines the same way they were and just call it a grenade, and instead have it scale the same way. Kind of what they did with totems and brands.
Yeah.
Where it's like they work alongside each other, but like imagine if they remove totems to add brands. Like that doesn't make a lot of sense. And this is what they're doing with this system.
I think like I could see this might even be a buff to mines like in the long run. I just think it's kind of weird because, as Octavian says, this change makes traps less unique. And there was always that thought process where like people would say, oh, but Tarky, like how good is GC traps? And I'd be like, well, it's awful because the targeting is fucked because you throw the traps and the GC's going the wrong way. Well, now GC mines, which is a really well-established build.
Glacial Cascade.
Yeah, sorry. Glacial Cascade mines, which is a really well-established build. When you're then throwing the mines at the enemy, it completely goes out the window. So now you're going to be throwing the mines just in front of your feet. And
which, in the end, what changed?
Yeah. If anything, in the end, you've made the build feel way clunkier because you're constantly having to move your mouse around. because you're trying to move. Like, that's one of the complaints I have with Freeze Pulse now, where you're constantly trying to like throw your mouse back to your character while moving to click on doors and chests. So for a lot of mind skills, for example, like GC mines or KB mines as well would be nerfed by like throwing far away from you. You're going to be wanting to throw at your feet, and it's going to feel a bit... It feels like this should have been a unique item. Like, if they released a unique item, which is like, you can now throw your mines, you'd be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head with the grenade comparison. Like, I'm not against this manner of behavior for a skill. It's just not mines. There's something else now. We should also have mines. I'd like both, please.
Well, it's also backwards, because I think the point of this is to address the fact that they changed that mines no longer target like on top of enemy, instead of they target on top of themselves, like what they did with Bladefall and Firestorm and Stormcall, all of these sort of things. They just target themselves because they had to address how people were one-shotting bosses, which, you know, is commonplace nowadays. But yeah, so now it's like really backwards, because they want it to work, but then you've got traps. So why would you even change that? Because it plays the same way. I don't know. I really hope that they're gonna just explain their thought process behind this one.
If someone's favorite build right now is like Glacial Cascade Mines or Arc Mines or KB Mines, the play style is completely different in 3.8. The way you actually fundamentally play mines. So unless they make a special like node on the skill tree or special unique, which is you place mines at your feet, you can't play today's miner next patch. And like, mines is a well-established part of PoE.
I agree. Some people are pointing out, even like RF Occultist, like you can still have that playstyle. It will be much weaker. You're going to have to build very differently, but the playstyle will remain, right? It's just much weaker. Or like, you know, I really like SRS. I can still play it. It just really sucks. You know?
And for the people saying...
I mean,
mechanically.
I think there's like two things that come to mind though, where they changed things this much before, which was multi-proj changes, right? So that was the first one, where you would go close, you would do a lot of damage, stand far away, you do a little damage.
Yeah, okay.
And then just general skill changes, right? In general, like again, like with Incinerate, another one where...
Yeah, but this is way bigger than that though. That's 1 ability. Well, this is an entire playstyle.
Yeah, I mean, it hits more abilities, sure. But I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before.
And I think the weaknesses, as much as the strengths of current mines, are integral to their identity. And I just think that was good. Like, it was in a good spot. Not everything in the game is going to be the most popular thing in the game, but mines had, I guess what you'd call a cult following. Like, there are people who are obsessed with the way that mines work. There are people who, I have someone in my chat who every time I make a new build asks me why I'm not playing ball lightning mines. Doesn't matter what the build is every time. And I still haven't played ball lightning mines. I have one more like, I don't know, not even a league. I got like a couple weeks left of this league to play it, or else it's going to be like probably gone forever. You could probably still do it as new ball lightning. Like, ball lightning traps is fine, and that's basically how it's going to behave. But ball lightning mines was a much higher damage way to play it, because you could actually guarantee that the ball lightning would travel through the enemy for the whole travel time. You're just losing out on interesting identity to a playstyle, and I don't think that the new playstyle, from what I've seen of it, is going to compensate for that. But I would be happy to be wrong.
I'm aware you can still throw mines at your feet or next to your character, but you then have this issue of constantly either only ever having your mouse an inch away from your character, or you're constantly flicking your mouse around. The reason why a lot of people liked mines before is it was a playstyle where you didn't have to aim. My only 100 was on KB mines because it was face roll off screen, not having to aim.
What if you tag stand still, it only ever throws mines under you, and it doesn't matter
that
where
would be a nice option if you could like have shift or something toggled so it drops at your feet.
I don't think the argument, but you can still lay it at your feet if you want to, is a legitimate one, because then why are we changing it? If that's how people are just going to play it anyway, if they're not going to change their playstyle from previous mines, well, then nothing was broken. Why are we fixing it?
But
why would I ever use a non-trap ability? Like, why would I ever not play Lightning Trap? Why would I play, for example, Ice Nova Trap over Ice Nova Mines? If Ice Over Mine does more damage, why would I ever play Ice Nova Trap?
I think the only reason why I would be convinced to going to a mine over a trap is because one of the prefabricated mines are really cool or strong. Like, if I'm playing a mine build this coming league, I'm probably going to be playing that little mine that looked like it was firing icicles everywhere, or the mine that, you know, looked like updated Fire Nova mine. If I'm going to take a skill and turn it into a mine, it's probably better just to turn it into a trap from what I've seen.
Because you can throw it away from the mobs, and then the little Autobot comes to it, and he enables it. And that's
maybe the Skitterbot
sick.
is strong enough
That's
to make mine
sicko.
superior.
Yeah, man, that's crazy to me. I love that. The little bots like enabling stuff.
Yeah, the bots
Seems like
also
there could be
enable
some
traps
fun.
though.
Do they?
Yeah, they
Really?
Yeah, they said they will
Oh, then
trigger
it's
your
bullshit.
traps and mines. They're a
I
minion
will
for
make a
both traps and
petition
minions.
that now traps will also reserve, and they will only be casted on top of your character.
And you have to hit a button
if
to
you-
trigger them.
Yeah, and if you hold still, then you can throw him away. There you go.
Like,
Perfect system.
anyway, the one thing which I do like is the reservation change. The way I read it is like a mine will reserve 1% mana. So with like most traps or most mine builds, you never throw or lay more than 20 mines. If you are, that's to one-shot a boss. We agree on that?
I don't think it's gonna be percent.
It's you think it's gonna be a flat reservation?
It could definitely be flat, yeah.
If it's flat reservation, it completely fucks it. I thought it would be percent based. If it's flat, it throws everything out the window.
Yeah, where's the advantage over hard spending mana if it's a flat reservation?
Yeah, because if it was percent based,
there isn't one, not really.
Then yeah, then I didn't see the
for this
point.
goal then.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be like these are gonna be really strong, and you're still gonna have to invest into mana. But now investing into mana will have like a further.
Oh no, I hate
like
it
there's
now.
a further benefit past something. Yeah, I would hate it too, but
Yeah.
like.
See, I thought the percent base would make sense, because then the whole point is you would purposely build with as low mana as possible, so that you basically, by the advantage of playing a minor over trap is you didn't need to ever worry about mana. Because if you have like if you just have like 30 regen from going Alira, then summon the tree, and then you have like only 200 mana or something at endgame, you're on a 50% aura, takes you down to 100. You're on a 25% aura, that leaves you with 25 left or 50 left or whatever. And that regen will always like go for your reservation. Like, that's why I thought it'd be reservation based, because that makes mana regen strong, not flat mana. If it's flat based, then it's bullshit.